はい。こんばんは。なんかマイクフォン、雑音拾ってないか。なんだったのわかんないや。はい。OBS いじったりするとちょっと音が消えるゲームの。こんばんは。皆さんいらっしゃいませ。ということで、スタンリーパラブルですね。一応、なんていうの日本語化モッドは入れたんだけど、どうかななんかここは日本語に別にならない。あ、こんばんは、ファントムさんいらっしゃいませ。適当にやります。特にこのゲームに関して、事前知識はなくてですね。なんかおじさんの言うことを聞かないゲームだということだけ知ってます。ということで、やっていこうと思います。バーザエンド。どこ区切りだ、これ。あ、ちょっと、応答なしはまずいですよ。マジこれマジ僕の画面では応答なしだけど、配信画面では別に応答なしになってない動いた。こんばんは、ガンガゼさんいらっしゃいませ。The end is never かな区切り的には。びっくりした。うるさ。スタンリーという男の
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor.
ちょっと待ってね。ちょっとだけ音量下げるね。どのボタンのあ、クリックでスキップだからクリックしてスキップしちゃったね。何どうしたらいいんですかこれ何何すんのちょっと待ってね。思いのほかマウス感度が高くてですね。これかなこれでいけるいや、高いな。ちょっと待って。マウス感度どこ間違えた。変なボタン押した。マウス、これか。アクセラレーション A マウントわかんない。これ、一旦元に戻しとくか。配信音量はちょうどよかったから聞こえてる音だけ下げて、なるほど。ごめんなさい。これ聞こえてる音だけ下げられんの別になんか、耳がぶち壊れそうなほどうるさいわけじゃないんで、大丈夫です。これなんか、なんも。ちょっと待って。オープニング聞かなかったから、なんか、わかんない。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
会議室いつどこ誰もいない。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
言うこと聞かない方がいいのかな言うこと聞かないでいいのかなこれが会議室。うわ、びっくりした。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
戻れないんだ。早速逆張りしてます。逆張り音だからね。 何ここ
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
こんばんは、ハポさんいらっしゃいませ。戻りましたって言われたら戻りたくないよな。
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Left. あ、左の扉しか開いてない。
Oh, no.
あ、
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
びっくりした。あ
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
どうした
What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This way. 大丈夫死ぬない歩くだけなのなんかできるわけではないのか。曲がりかわいいって言われてる。暗い。なんだこれ。アパチャーサイエンス味があるね。
No!
No!
This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
はあ
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
いいよじゃ
Stanley
あ。
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
とりあえず会議室行ってあげよっか。
When Stanley... Wait.
No.
What?
どうした
No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Oh.
Did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
ストーリーを探そう。どういうことですか何したらいいですかなんかクリックするとカチャカチャ言うね、ちゃんと。メールだな、マジで。なんか、それっぽい、ストーリーくんはそれっぽいアピールをしてくれてるんですか暗いな。強制リセットされたね。
I'll say
No.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
急に
Well,
喋
I
んない
find
で。
it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot.
あ、
Why
ふざけんな
not?
かす。お前。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
口割るって言われてる。無限ループって怖くね
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
めんどくそ。違う。おお、びっくりした。勝手にドア閉めないでくれる
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. not the story.
は
Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
振り回されてる。なんだなんだ。あ、汚な。怖っ。急になんか、バイオハザード7味があるじゃん。どうしたん？
Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
そうだね。
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
またリスト
I
で
don't
す
care
の？
what might happen this time. I have to restart.
え？
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the
Adventure
line.
Line.
How simple is that?
これなら簡単でしょう。本当にござるか？本当にござるか？さっきからこのラインの動きしか。こっちなの？
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
うるさ。うるさ。合ってないよそれは。ムードってもんがあるでしょもっと。電気揺れてる。怖いな。何動いてない。マンスリー何？レジャー？コーポレートインバランス。ファイナンシャルレポーズ。なんかダメそうだけど。アニュアルレビューか。うるせえなこれマジで。エンプロイ432ペアレビュー。やかましいマジで。なんか同じ部屋くない？同じ部屋と。
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
これ？
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
寝る直前に来たらテンション上がる音楽で草踊らなきゃ。踊ってくださるんですか？こんな公式ネタバレやめろ。確かに。
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
戻ってきてる。こっち戻ってきてるのか。入ったからこっちか。ラインお前が引いたんじゃねえのかよ。ここに来たな。
Oh, no, not Not again, line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you,
104
after
が
everything
フ
we've
ィール
been
ドになってる
through,
ね。
you. Well, I
あ
can't
とは
take this anymore. The
601
hell
が
with
フ
it.
ィールド。
Restart.
リスタート。特に部屋は変わってない。The Stanley Parable Adventure Line。
You know
うわ、
what,
びっくりした。
Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
急にドア閉めるのやめろっつってんだろ。
Now,
Huh?
yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley,
お前
I'd
かっこ
also
TM
like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
TM
No
って何
lines
の
or monitor
やつ
rooms.
何の
Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
何の略というか、僕らの大ゲームで見たような景色。あの景色割といろんなとこで見るくない？なんかバイオハザード5でも見たしさ。壁突き抜けるな。登録商標か。
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From
商
here,
標
the
マーク
story is in
あ
our control.
黙ってか
How
らでしょ。
important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination
ドアの表側と逆側の裏側の反対側と一致するということは、 真の義が真みたいなやつ、
So
真の義
starting
の
from
義が
the
何
right,
みたいなや
let
つ。
us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
ずっと喋ってるから
Since
何も
the
読めない
answer
な。
is clearly yes,
商
then
標マー
by
クはその
all
前にある名
accounts,
称が
the
と、
door on the right is the
商標で
correct
あることを
one.
示すの記号
Another victory for
登録商
logic.
標マークは、
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
なるほどね。なんだこれ。
Oh, hold up, what's this? Hmm.
ファン、
The confusion ending.
コンフュージョンエン
You're
ド。
telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Something happen?
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
待つの？
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
びっくりした。びっくりした。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
難解な話でわからんから踊ってます。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
仕方ないから今回は逆張りしないでいてあげよう。この B フォームびっくりする。わかる。
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Do not.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. ミーティングルーム。フロア4バツバツ。タイムスケジュールっぽいことが書いてある。Everyone is unique. You must all. はい。はい、そうっすね。Number of slides かな。上司のオフィスイズどこ？上？
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
アメリカ語はやめろ、話がきなんだ。そっか。やば。格式高。これなんかでもなんか見たことある気がする。上司の部屋どこ？何ここは。ちょっとなんか、これは、あれですね。なんだっけ、フィア、なんとかオブフィアみたいなやつ。豪華な階層。そうだね。エクセキューティブバスルームバスルームバスルームあるんですかこの階層。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
何どこああ。違う
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845? ダメだわ。キーパッド。
2845.
何入れてるだろうがよ。なんで、読み。あ、これか。
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
ドアが一人でに開きましたって言われて、あ、ここか。なんこれ。暗いのやめてほしい。普通に怖いです。無理やり進行する人間。確かに。それっぽい。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
びっくりした。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall,
死ぬの
Stanley would meet his
僕死ぬ
violent
これ
death.
死ぬんですか
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
ダッシュできないのダッシュはできないしゃがむはできるの
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
どうししろいいやつだったよ行ってみなきゃわかんねえだろよいしょ死んだ死んだ死んだ死んだあ、死んでないえ What? Wow
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to
今ので死んでないの
he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow
足
life.
腰が強くてよかった
Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
ああここから拷問が始まるんだ始まるんだえ、なんだって言われてるあ、そう
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
え
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you
The
see
same.
now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
お前は何を言ってるんだ急になんか機械に挟まれるのやめろヒヤリ貼った報告しなきゃファイリングキャビネットオフィスコンピューターオフィスのコンピューター全然見なかったクレジット何これゲーム中のボタンの効果音それぞれの音はキーボードのタイピング音とシンセサイザーの音をミックスへえどっかで聞いたこれどっかで聞いたこれオフィスなんかめちゃめちゃスタッフロールウォーゾーンスタンリーが戦場でエイリアンと戦うエンディングを構想していましたこのアクションゲームには意識の芽生えナレーターに対抗してありますしかしこのエンディングはあまりにもふざけすぎていて鼻につくことが気になりました。また私の意図するところではありませんでしたが、シューティングゲームは好きな人をバカにしていると感じたよ。へえ。美術館だな。おびっくりした。何メールで慣れた宛ての質問を募集。はあそのメールをご紹介します。ようやるわ。ここは以前のバージョンではパートのエンディングにつながる選択肢として10分以内で電話するのにタイマーがありました。なんか、見てないエンディングの説明を受けてる。最後に来るべきだったんですかこれは。 晒し上げ。スタイルのすね、ああ、なるほどね。あんま見ない方がいいですかあんま見ない方が良くないですか？エグジット。なんかいっぱいあるけど。フリーダムエンディング。いっぱいあるけどあんま見ない方がいい気がする。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
これが一番深淵度感あるから最後がいいのはそう。僕、変なエンド踏んだな。
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
え
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
僕何かやっちゃいましたなんか、ここで、おえ動いてる音はするけど。あ、これリスタートしろってこと？リスタートしろということでいい？クリアクリアなんすか？あ、またスキップしちゃったよ。まあ、いっか。最初から言うこと全部聞いてみようか。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Boss's
Coming to a
office.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
この多分なんかその選択、なんか登りましたとか降りましたみたいなところでいろいろ変わるんだろうね。一旦尻町人間になるのか。尻町人間。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music. 落ち着いてるかこれ。Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Passageway? あんま変わんないのかな？落ち着いたニューエイジミュージックだ。踊れ踊れって言ってる。みんな踊んな。乗り食ってノリノリになるな。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
なんこれ。数字？
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
ちゃんと踊ってる。ちゃんとコメント欄踊ってる。カメラん他には何もないのかな。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
今、ノリ食ってノリノリノリスケって、そこまでは言ってない。そこまでは言ってない。なんか
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Blind to the world.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
マインドコントロールスタッツオフラインじゃない？今やってたの？こんばんは。こんばんは、パちゃんいらっしゃいませ。今やってますよ。なんか、さっきね、一番最後に見るべきエンディングみたいなのを見ちゃった。これ押すしかないの？これ何？コンソールディサブレ、わからん。すいません。いや、ごめん。英語わかんない。なんか、やけに。何これ喜び悲しみがい。これ押さなきゃいけん？5って書いてあるよ。ビビビ。オフライン。マインドコントロール、アイドル、アーウェイティングインプットかな。アイドル状態ってことで、インプット待ってますよということでいいのかな？これは何なの？これ何？なんか、エヴァンゲリオンで見た。一旦これ押してみっか。オンラインなんじゃないかな？悪の組織感あるじゃん。まあ、それは、まあ、あるけどさ。攻略見ないとたどり着かないと割とあるんで、よかったら見て。なるほどね。なんか適当にやります。System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
なるほどね。なるほどね。
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
You have any idea?
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
制御系設計したやつ出てこい。これリスタートした？あ、違くない？こんな。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
今のエンドなのかな。
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
this is all a dream.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing He thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
おじさんナレーション ASMR で寝かされそう。
Normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine.
Okay.
I am okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
された。
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself. and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what's real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
見捨てられちゃったよ。口悪い。下を見て安心する傘がよ。まあでも、人間誰しも下見て安心する節はあるからよ。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
とりあえず全部消すか。通ったところのそういうのなんか全部消しとくか。あ？何これ？俺の下なんて70億人ぐらいしかいないから。インプットでレシーブド？何をインプットしろと？何も進めらんないな。これどっかにヒントあったのかな？これ絶対なんかできるじゃん。わかりません。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
これ、右のドア。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
条件分岐まとめなきゃめんどくさいな。
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
こっちは違うんだっけ？
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
うるせえな。なんだよ。ん？
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
彼女意地の悪いナレーターだし、最初の部屋で10分放置とかありそうですね。わかる。
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
暗い。うわ、びっくりした。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
Double check.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. He comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? Wait a second. Did I just see? No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Steven has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Practice. 練習しましょうってこと？
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best path to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Alright. Now
that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
飛び降りることもできるんだね。Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. 嘘つくな。飛び降りはまた次回。そうだね。なんか条件分岐覚えてらんない気がする。
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
これは槍の扉
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
左側入ってほしいんだったら右側開けんだよな。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
123バグってるね。めちゃめちゃバグってんじゃん。これ戻るしかないですか？戻るしかないですか？なんだ。ちなみにこっちは。
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
全部壊れちゃった。シロさんのせいです。ああ。おお。何した。何した？おえ？
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. Yes, it would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
もう一回同じことしたら同じエンドに行くのかな。やってみっか。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
あ?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
勝たねえな。あったよ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
なんだ。ちなみに特に何もないね。あ、風呂じゃなくなってる。え？何これ？部屋が変わってるね。
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out.
なんつった？
Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself
喋ったらいい
the
の？
courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
え？言うの？ナイスシャーク115だっけ？ What's
Stanley spoke the code.
あ？
Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver right there on the wall.
ナイツシャーク115じゃなくて
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
あ？
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
マイクとかちょっとやってないからわかんないです。
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
クソディスられるな。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
あ？ねえこれ紙してん？
Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
ジエンド
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
あ、こうね。おお、そう。
So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
ナレーターのおじさん泣きそうじゃん。
Take as much time as you need.
精神的に壊れちゃった。社会でよく見る現象です。そうっすね。泣かないで。ちょっと待ってね。一瞬待ってね。なんか430のドアをいっぱいクリックするっていうやつがあるから試してみていい？
What could it mean? Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
おもろ。ゴールを動かす。そうそう。
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417番ってどこ？もっと先か。お、これか。絵面が。
Great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437番のドアを数回クリックしてください。37？ あ、これか。
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
昔さ、ばあちゃんが団地に住んでんだけど、団地の隙間にさ、団地と団地の間に公園があってさ、その公園の遊具にさ、あ、次はどこどこへ行けみたいなさ、油性マジックで書いてあってさ、それを思い出すわ。
Now, back to door number 437.
んだよ、うるせえな。どこだっけ？これか。
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
417、417、17かな？
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Desk.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door. We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Do that one again. めっちゃなんかテンション上がってんね。コピー機ここかな？これしかないのかな？
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 43. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
あちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。よいしょ。そんなテンション上がる。Yes! Yes! We did it! で、なんだっけ何これ？あれ？道違う？あ、違わないか。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
あれしよっか。ちゃんとオフにする方でしよっか。もうお馴染みですね。
Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
そんな省略してくれるんですか？いいんですか？こっちは何？なんもないのか。走るな。走られたな。水汲んでいい？水汲みます。水汲んでます。よいしょよいしょ。水汲めて偉いって言ってもらった。ちょっとさっきまでお酒飲んでたからさ、喉乾いちゃって。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
どっか隙間空いてて飛び降りれるとかないか。お酒で乾いたのだ、お酒で売り出すのが食務会の礼儀。確かに。それはそう。
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on the screen. and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
ここは走ってくんないんだ。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
The
heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
ちょっとあれみがある。なんだっけ、クラフトピアミがあります。戻れないのか。戻れないのか。
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling of liberation. The immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
文字通りのハッピーエンドじゃん。実績のロックを解除しました。戻ってきた。ちょっと待ってね。よいしょ。どうしよっか。どうしよっかな。3時か。豊富すぎでしょ、確かに。ちょっと、もう1、2個なんかやって。メモ。
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
そんなはしょられることある？そこははしょるん。そんなに回数こなしてないと思うんだけど、そこ。ここはもうなんか、こっからはもうなんかうまく。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this course, Stanley would better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
そんなにないね。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
ここなんかできんのかな？なんもないか。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images of a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
奥さんの電話に出るやつってどういうやつだったっけ？
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human. For he would dismantle the... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
一旦順番通りに押していく。
I barely know where to start.
このタイミングで押すのはもう意味ないのかな。
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won, solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me in the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here.
これでオフにするのとかかな。間に合うかな。
Desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily.
これ絶対なんかあるだろう。絶対なんかありそうだけど難しいな。難しいっていうか何も見つけてない。これ突破法とかあるのかな。なんかありそうな感じするけどな。でもどうなんだろう。全部無意味なのかな。
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
こっちだっけ。ここか。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
飛び降りてみようか。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy,
ここ道
really.
行けそうじゃない？
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
よいしょ。
Someone. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
なんだよ、チャンスって。ビーチ。16進数ですか。285。お
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
レッド。いや、これ、選択肢だいぶ増えたな。まあ、一旦赤い方行っと
Oh,
くか。
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Let me show you. どちらでもいいの？おお、止まった。
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Eh?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley,
Eh?
I think I feel happy. I actually feel
これ
happy.
これ何？二人は幸せのキスをして終了？何これは？どういう状況？エモいじゃん。おお。ちょっとそれは酔いそうだけど、綺麗ですね。しばらく待ってたらいいですか？冗談で言ったキス変動があるってマジ？わかんない。これも、戻れ。明らかにここ、なんか、これ待ってたらさ、それエンドになる？なんない？もう、待ってるの飽きたからすね。こっちは？
No, wait. Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Right. Where were we?
ちょっと、もうちょっとだけ待ってみようか。あ、星が消えていった。星は消えたけど。わあ。わあ。待ってたら終わる？なんか。なんもない？もう、なんもないですか？せっかちだからちょっともうそろそろ耐えられないんだけど。リラックス BGM で寝るくらい。確かにな。視聴者の皆さんを寝かせるためにはしばらくここにいた方がいいのかもしれない。真っ暗になった。終わった？終わり？なんもなかったのね。 はい。じゃあ何ですか？
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
階段登ったら死ぬの。
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
なるほどね。高いところが怖いね。
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
そんなこと言われてもね。ちなみに階段降りては何かある？なんかある？戻れるようになってるもんね。あ、なんか同じやつやってる。
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Just stay here.
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You are going to stay here, aren't you?
No, I don't. もうなんもないかな。
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
もうなんもないかな。もう回収したかな。もうなんもないかな。もうなんもなさそうかな。なんもないなら死のっか。よいしょ。
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
動かずにいたらなんかある？もしかして。そういう感じではない。ライブの画面上で38分35秒だったから、5分ぐらい待ってみる？即死はしないの地味にさ。まあ、あの高さで足から行ったら即死はしないだろうね。今の速度で歩けるかどうかはちょっとわかんないんだけど。足は折れただろうね、確実にね。これなんか、割となんかその、スタンリーとナレーターは幸せなキスをして終了じゃない。割とそんな感じするけど。そういうわけじゃないのかな。あれ、真っ暗になったところでもうちょっとだったのかな。ああ、宇宙の音。宇宙の音だな。しばらく待とうね。とりあえず今ので1分渡しました。これ。これちょっと時間かかりますね。この待ち時間、ちょっと僕、話盛り上げるの下手なんですよ。自分の性癖の話ぐらいしかする話がない。まあでも、そうっすね。どうしようね。どうしようね。何もないわね。でもあれですね。ちょっと雑談する。ちょっと雑談しとこうか。よな。 今、リョナの話しました。リョナの話とは言ってない。性癖の話とは言っただけで、リョナの話とは言ってないけど、まあ、リョナの性癖なんで、まあ、性癖っすわ。まあまあまあまあまあ。まあまあまあまあ。苦しむ元が好きって話でしょ。いや、まあまあまあまあ、そうっすね。まあ、そうっすね。苦しんでる男が好き。苦しんでる男が好きだから、今ナレーターが苦しんでるのも好きかもしれん。今このナレーターが、スタンリーを生かそうと必死なのも、まあまあまあ、ある意味好きなのかもしれんな。一瞬狂ったかな？大丈夫かな？ちょっと回線の調子悪そうかな？そうでもないかな？逆で喜ぶなって言われてんな。いや。言うたって皆さんだって昨日の僕の配信で散々なんか散々楽しんだでしょ。僕が言うのもなんですけど。やっぱね、かわいそうはかわいいなんすわ。僕もね、死ぬほど死んでたけど、死ぬほど怖かったけど、逆の立場に立った時に、僕もそうなるなって思ったから、特にマジで何も言えずに黙ることしかできないというね、配信者として悪い状態を晒しましたけどもね。いやまあ。いいじゃん。かわいそうはかわいいじゃん。かわいそうかわいいは一般性癖でしょ。みんなわかるでしょ。かわいそうはかわいいけど、推しのかわいそうはもっとかわいい。いや、わかる。わかるよ。とてもわかります。やっぱ、推しであればあるほど殴りたいところあるから。この時間だから、何でもいいかと思って喋ってるけど。推しがかわいそうな目に遭ってるのに、DV 彼氏じゃん。DV 彼氏、なるほどね。なるほどな。そうなのかもしれんな。いや、ほら、DV 彼氏はほら、殴ることについてはごめんって思ってるかもしんないから。で、僕は殴ることについて別にごめんと思わないです。推しが苦しむことについては、もっと苦しめばいいなって思ってるんで、DV 彼氏よりもちょっとやばいかもしれない。5分経ちましたね。なんもなさそうっすね。なんもなさそうだから、ちょっと死にに行こっか。ビンタした後泣きながら抱きしめたら感情爆って好感度上がるからおすすめだぞ。
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
もう一回食べられたら死ぬかな。よっこら。
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
泣きそうじゃんよ。
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of? Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
現実ではしたことないんですけどねって言ってるけど、現実でしたらちょっともうダメよ。もうダメよ。犯罪だからね。
No, perhaps not.
妄想だから許される性癖ですからね。男が苦しむ作品なら仮面ライダーはおすすめだと思って。なるほど。いや、なんかね、男が苦しむから好きというよりは、なんか推しが苦しむから好きみたいなところがあるから、アニメの 終盤で推しの男が刺されるとかが一番性癖に刺さります。よいしょ。
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
法律という名の縄が私を縛る。いや、まあそればっかりはね、仕方ないんですよ。お
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going...
死んだ。死にました。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
どうしよっかな。さっきの道に
Stanley came to a set of two open. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
Love.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
あそこの部屋にしばらくいるのもなんかありそうだね。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible.
スタンリーかけるラウンジ邸で。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really. I'm
あそ
not.
この
I realize that
あの
investing in your
トラ
trust
ック
in
に
someone
落ち
else
てみ
can
る
be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something.
ここ
You
に来ちゃっ
have
た。
zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
こっちに来ちゃ
do
ったから
want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on
青い
your
扉を選ぶ
side.
方をやってみようか。
Give me a chance.
Give me a chance。すまかれます。大丈夫ですよ。全然寝てください。この時間にやってるのがあれなんで、ね。おやすみなさい。
Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
ちょっと怒ってんじゃん。あ、青いとある。
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Let
You see,
me stop you.
there's nothing here.
主張
I
激
haven't
しい。
even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a... Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
強制保守後。なんかこんなんあったっけ？ワールドワイドリーダーボード。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
はい。おい、びっくりした。
The baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4時間?
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
うるさ。クソうるさ。うるさ。
You heartless bastard.
この冷血野郎。
Because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of
これマジで4
ideas.
時間や
I
るやつあん
can't
のかな
think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
おっと。ガチで4時間やるエンドもあるはず。しかもどんどん難易度が上がる。マジマイクラじゃないか。
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do
怒られるで。
But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
ジャンプできねえ。
Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made
芸術センス×じゃん。
Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
音までちゃんとしてるな。
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come on, Stanley. We have to go mining.
どこマジでマイクラ始まった
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No. ないよ、そんなもんは。
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one.
ちゃんとモンスターの声する。ちゃんとモンスターの声する。マジの別ゲーだよ。あ、ローディングが。えポータルじゃん。
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is. It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
あれかな Genius.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of the...
ベータ。なんだこれは。何これ。どこ？暗いっすね。暗くて見えねえっす。あ、落ちた。おう。画面、ちょっと見えてるか。やば。メールか。423？ あ、軽い。見えない。なんだこれ。どこに何もない？急に内緒なくなる声わかる。止まっ
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, and make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh. っていうエンドね。あ、普通に通路に行かずにあそこ飛び降りてみたいんだよね。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
あと奥さんの電話に出るやつもう回収して一旦今日は終わりにしようかなみたいな。
Stanley came to a set of two open. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room.
めちゃめちゃ
It
多いもん
all
ね。
made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human.
もうちょっと話聞いてみる？
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
もうちょっとだけ待ってみる。
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his
しばらく
overall,
な
but at
なん
last
かあり
he
そうな
had
感じする
enough
けど。
of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
よいしょ。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
普通にここから飛び降りようか。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've got... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
っていうエンドだね。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
このまま
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
行くのを待てばいいんだよね。
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be...
おう、動いた。
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
なんだダメなんか。くそ。
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
他の方しても別に聞かないんだね。しばらく待ってみる？しばらく待つが発生するやつはちょっとな。
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
今まで何をしたっけ？あんま意味ないかな。
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
待つの選択肢ありそうだな。ないか。さすがにないか。
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
死んでください。
And Stanley pushed a button.
死んでください。
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
死んでくださいって。で、やっとスタンリーの立場が完全に良かった。確かにね。まあでも一旦今日はここまでかな。なんだかんだ2時間やりましたしね。ちょっと、これ以降で、今、見えてる限りの選択肢はある程度試したような気がする。わかんないけど。Go outside. Don't play the Stanley for 5 years. 5年やらないっていうトロフィーがあるんだね。すごいな。スピードラン。complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes 22 seconds. Not include load time. インゲームタイムで4分22秒以内にスタンリーパラブルをコンプリートする。コンプリートとは。はい。エンド回収はどうしようかな。なんか4時間やるエンドとかさ、ちょっと厳しい気がするんで、裏でやっちゃうかもしれないです。わかんないけど。という感じで、本日はここまでにしたいと思います。面白かったけどね。いろいろ面白かった。ナレーターの人の情緒が不安定すぎて面白かったね。はい。って感じで。一応、明日はなんかやるかもしれないけど、まあちょっとまだわかんないので、確定してる日程としては特に何もないです。まあまたね、ツイッターとかで告知を出そうと思いますので、もしよければ、ツイッターのフォローなど、概要欄にありますので、よろしくお願いいたします。チャンネル登録と高評価、通知のオンも、もしね、楽しんでいただけたなら、していただけるととても嬉しいです。っていうところかな。ということで、はい、大変遅い時間でしたが、お付き合いいただきありがとうございました。また次の枠でお会いできれば幸いでございます。それでは、じゃあまた次の枠でお会いいたしましょう。バイバーイ。じゃあねー。